Hello and welcome to another Fear.Dead production. If you're gearing up for your first major challenge in WoW Classic, this guide has you covered with all the essential strategies, quest details, and loot breakdowns for the Deadmines. Designed for players between levels 18 and 23, this iconic dungeon is tucked away in the heart of the Moonbrook mines in Westfall. While it serves as the introductory instance for most Alliance players, anyone brave enough to enter will find a deep dive into the Defias Brotherhood's secret operations. Before you step through the portal, keep in mind that there are 5 Alliance exclusive quests available that offer some of the best early game gear. Reaching the entrance is straightforward for the Alliance. You just need to fly into Sentinel Hill and head south to the mines. It's highly recommended to link up with your party outside the mine entrance, as the tunnels leading to the instance are packed with hostile mobs. For Horde players, the journey is a legendary trek. The most common route involves taking the Zeppelin to Gromgol and Stranglethorn Vale and swimming north along the coast to avoid high-level guards, eventually making landfall on the southern beaches of Westfall. Regardless of your faction, once you're inside, you'll face a gauntlet of bosses and the infamous pirate ship hidden within the cavern depths. While the bosses are the most exciting with all that loot you are hoping drops, I do also want to cover the important trash that if you don't focus on could get your group sent back to Elwyn before that amazing mace, or that wand you have been searching for even has a chance to drop. When navigating the Goblin Foundry, your primary threats are the Goblin Craftsmen and Goblin Engineers. These mobs are notorious for their ability to summon remote-controlled golems, which can quickly overwhelm a party with extra damage. The most effective way to handle them is to interrupt the cast entirely. Paladins are especially useful here for landing a well-timed Hammer of Justice. If your group lacks stuns or enough crowd control like a mage's polymorph and a golem successfully joins the fray, don't panic. Just keep your focus on the goblin. Once the summoner dies, their robotic creation will immediately despawn. Further into the dungeon, specifically within the Dreadnought room, you'll encounter Defias Squall Shapers. These casters rely on Frost Nova to root the party in place, which can be a nightmare for your tank and melee DPS. To counter this, have the entire group stack closely on the tank during the pull so everyone stays within range of the targets. You should also keep a sharp eye out for patrolling Squall Shapers. If one wanders into the fight unexpectedly, their Nova can trap you in a bad position and lead to a messy wipe. Finally, always stay alert for the various dungeon patrols that roam the halls of the Deadmines. These groups are famous for catching players off guard immediately after a boss fight when the party is distracted by looting or recovering health and mana. There isn't a complex trick to beating them, but the hidden boss of any dungeon is often overconfidence. Make it a habit to constantly pan your camera around and check your surroundings, ensuring you aren't ambushed while your guard is down. Before engaging Rhahk'Zor, you'll need to deal with the 2 Defias watchmen flanking him. It is possible to pull these guards individually without alerting the boss, which is the safest way to clear the room. If you happen to pull everything at once, make sure to use crowd control on at least one of the archers to minimize the incoming damage on your healer and tank. You should also keep a close watch on the hallway behind you for any patrolling elites that might wander in and complicate the encounter. As for the boss himself, Rhahk'Zor serves as a relatively straightforward tank and spank warm-up for the rest of the dungeon. His primary mechanic is Rhahk'Zor Slam, a heavy physical attack that can temporarily stun the tank and deal significant damage. Aside from ensuring the tank has a solid lead on threat and the healer is prepared for the spikes and damage from the slam, the fight is very mechanical. Just stay focused, manage the adds properly, and you should go down without much trouble. The encounter with Sneed's Shredder actually begins long before you pull the boss, as the preparation phase is critical. Because the Shredder uses a Terrify ability that causes players to run uncontrollably, you must completely clear the room of all Goblin Woodcarvers first. Failing to do so usually results in a player being feared into extra mobs, leading to a quick wipe. Once the room is secure, the first phase is a basic tank and spank, where you'll just need to manage the fear and the distracting pain debuff. The fight takes an interesting turn once the machine is destroyed, as Sneed himself will eject from the wreckage to keep fighting on foot. He possesses a disarm ability that can be particularly frustrating for tanks, as it temporarily prevents them from using their weapon to generate threat. Because of this, it is vital that the rest of the group gives the tanks several seconds to firmly establish aggro before they start dealing heavy damage. As long as you respect the threat transition when Sneed hops out, this two-phase encounter remains one of the simpler challenges in the dungeon. Gilnid follows the familiar tank and spank pattern seen throughout the dungeon, but the real trick to the fight is managing his assistant. He is flanked by a goblin engineer who will join the fray as soon as the boss is engaged. To keep things from spiraling out of control, your best bet is to use crowd control on the engineer immediately. If left unchecked, he will likely cast summon remote control golem, bringing in a mechanical ad that is immune to most of your abilities and can be a massive headache for the group. If a golem does manage to spawn, don't waste your resources attacking it. Instead, stay focused on the engineer, as the robot will immediately despawn once its summoner is defeated. Beyond managing that ad, the main boss mechanic to watch for is Molten Metal, a fire-based debuff that deals damage over time and can strain your healer if the fight drags on. By crowd controlling the engineer before the pull even starts, you can turn this into a much more manageable and predictable encounter. The encounter with Mr. Smite is a famous gear check that triggers automatically as soon as you step onto the plank leading to his platform. He is supported by 2 invisible Defias blackguards, and your top priority must be burning these ads down as quickly as possible. This is crucial because Smite will cast Smite Stomp at both 66 and 33% health, a move that stuns the entire party for 10 seconds. If the blackguards are still alive during these long stuns, they can easily kill your defenseless teammates. During each stun, Mr. Smite will run to his nearby chest to equip a new weapon, which fundamentally changes his fighting style and grants him new abilities like Thrash or Nimble Reflexes. The most dangerous part of the fight occurs when Mr. Smite is at 66 and 33% health. The healer must ensure the tank is constantly topped up to full health to survive the high burst damage of Smite Slam. As long as you clear the ads before the first stomp and keep the tank healthy during the final phase, you can push through his weapon swaps and claim victory. The trickiest part of dealing with Cookie isn't actually the fight itself, but the leap off the ship required to reach him. The lower deck is swarming with elite mobs, and if your jump isn't timed perfectly, you risk pulling half the room and causing a quick wipe. Once you've successfully made the jump and cleared the landing, your best bet is to pull Cookie off the ship and back toward the dungeon exit to give your group plenty of space to work. From there, the encounter settles into a standard tank and spank, but you have to stay sharp on your interrupts. His primary mechanic is Cookie's Cooking, a channeled spell that restores a significant portion of his health if it isn't stopped. As long as your group keeps his healing in check and avoids the extra ads on the deck, the rest of the fight is a breeze, leaving you free to claim the last bit of loot in the dungeon. When you're ready to take on Captain Greenskin, the key to a smooth fight is solid crowd control before the pull even begins. You'll want to CC the Defias Squall Shaper immediately, as their Frost Nova can quickly ruin your positioning. Once the fight starts, focus your damage on the Defias Companion first, since it's a non-elite. It will go down fast and reduce the number of targets hitting your tank. From there, take out the remaining Defias Pirate before finally switching all your attention to Greenskin himself. Throughout the encounter, your tank needs to be careful to face Greenskin away from the rest of the group to ensure no one else gets hit by his heavy cleave damage. You'll also need to watch out for his Poisoned Harpoon, which can catch casters or healers off guard. Keep that Squall Shaper locked down in CC until the captain is defeated, then finish off the caster to clear the deck and collect your loot. The final showdown with Edwin VanCleef is a chaotic fight that demands quick target switching and high awareness. As soon as you engage him, 2 Defias Blackguards will emerge from stealth to join the battle. Much like the Mr. Smite encounter, you need to prioritize these adds immediately. It's best to crowd control one while the group focuses all damage on the other. VanCleef himself deals massive single target damage through dual wield and thrash, which can shred a tank's health pool if you're distracted by the guards for too long. Once the initial adds are down, you can shift your focus back to the boss, but stay alert for the halfway point. When VanCleef's health drops to 50%, he will summon 2 additional adds to complicate the fight. This phase is incredibly heal intensive, so healers need to be prepared for the spike in damage, and any hybrid classes in the group should be ready to provide spot healing to keep the tank and party stabilized. After you finally take him down, don't forget to loot an unsent letter, which drops on your first kill and kicks off an important questline. That's it, you have mastered Deadmines. Thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.